Hi everyone, welcome back to Sugar Mama Investing, where I'm telling you everything that I know about options trading and helping you make some passive income to get your wealth up. So in my previous video, I talked about what an option contract is. In this video, I am going to talk about why we trade options. So what and why. Now, I have 4 reasons here and I'll go into each of them. So the first reason that we want to trade options is that you can trade them for a lower cost than the cost of investing in whole stocks or shares of stock, okay? And let me explain that. So let us take an example where we want to buy 100 shares of Apple. Okay, if Apple, I guess I can write Apple. If Apple is trading at $124 a share, it will cost $12,400 to invest in 100 and control 100 shares of Apple, okay? With an option to control shares of Apple costs significantly lower. You can buy an option contract that controls 100 shares of Apple for $500. Okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you how in this video. I'm just explaining why we trade options. If you wanted to, like I said, control and own 100 shares, and there are positives and negatives to owning the full shares as opposed to just owning a contract. But essentially, if you are here to make money and don't care about owning the actual underlying stock, it'll cost you a fraction of the amount that it costs to actually own the 100 shares. Now, one of the drawbacks of only owning the contract and not the shares is that you're not entitled to dividends. Options expire, so you could lose money. I mean, you could lose money owning the shares, but as long as you own shares of stock, you own them forever until you sell them. With an options contract, options do expire. If you watch my previous video, we talked about a certain date where the contract expires and is over. You could lose your whole investment, but you have only invested a fraction of what it costs to own 100 shares of stock. So that's why we trade options, is because there is a lower cost to get involved in the trading. The second reason why you may want to start investing or trading options is because it produces income. Now, if we take Apple and use the 100 shares of income, Apple pays a dividend. So the shares that you own of Apple, every quarter, they pay you so much per share that you have. Well, there is a strategy, an option strategy, where if you own 100 shares, you can say that you want to sell those 100 shares at a certain price. You can actually write an options contract and produce income without having to sell your shares, and you make money. So that's another reason why we would trade options, or why we would invest in options, is because you can produce an income that is additional to capital gains and an income that is additional to dividends. So it's just another way to make money. Number 3, the reason you might invest in options is for protection. If you have a portfolio of shares of stocks, there are option strategies that you can use that we will talk about in later videos that protect your investment. So if you bought Apple at $124 and you want to protect it from the shares going down, you can do an option strategy that if the price goes down to $120, you can buy a protective put that gives you the difference between this 124 and 120. And you'll still own your 100 shares or however many shares of stock that you have, but that protective put will protect the price and essentially bring in money from if the stock goes down. Finally, the fourth reason that we invest in options is because you can buy shares at a lower price. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that Apple is currently trading at $124 and you don't have $12,400, but you would be interested in buying the stock if it went down to $120, okay? If the stock goes down to $120, you have the $12,000 to be able to buy 100 shares, but you only want to buy them at $120 or less. What you can do is you can buy an option, and if the shares get down to $120, you buy it. If the shares don't get down to $120, you get to keep the income that you made. So I'm sure there are other reasons why you should invest in options, but these are just the first four that I could come up with. The cost is lower. The amount of capital or the amount of money that you have to invest is lower when you trade options. Options help you produce an additional income other than dividends and capital gains. Option strategies can be used for protection to protect the shares and protect the portfolio that you already have. Finally, if you want, you can buy shares at a lower cost. And not only can you buy shares at a lower cost, you make money waiting for the shares to go down to that price. We'll talk about that in another video. I just wanted to get you started on a simple video, why we trade options. If you're interested, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/Sugar Mama Investing. I start with $1,000 and I'm just going to show you how and what I trade in the options account. Okay? Thank you for watching. Bye.